Hi, we're Victor and Jan from the Oracle Seventh-day Adventist Church Health Ministries team. We're excited to be in Tucson today to partner with Healthy You Network to demonstrate one of our great plant-based recipes, the orange and sweet potato empanada. Victor is both an artist and a chef, and he made our aprons. He's going to take you through our whole wheat flour dough recipe. Victor, you're starting with a couple of cups of whole wheat flour.
Yes, we have 2 cups of whole wheat flour. We're adding 1 cup of unsweetened plain applesauce. We're doing that in lieu of any other fat. You need to be aware if you're buying empanadas at the Mexican restaurant or the grocery store, there's a good chance you're getting lard in your dough.
So you really want to stay away from that. This is a great recipe because it's so simple. The dough is only two ingredients, and again, whole wheat flour and unsweetened applesauce. Okay, so you're working the dough, but not overworking it.
I'm just incorporating the dough and the applesauce together. We don't want to overwork it or you'll develop the gluten and end up more of a chewy pizza dough, which we don't want for this.
So if you want to substitute unsweetened applesauce in your baking recipes, for example, if your recipe calls for 1 cup of butter or 1 cup of oil, you can substitute 2/3 a cup of unsweetened applesauce. That's going to be about 1/10 of the calories, and of course it's going to be fat-free. So it's a great way to make your baked goods healthier and a lot less caloric for you.
And as I bring this together, we'll wrap it in plastic, put it in the fridge, and we'll chill it for at least 1 hour until it's chilled all the way through. And then we'll be back with the filling.
Right. Now it's time for our filling. Our base is going to be 2 medium baked sweet potatoes. And we've baked these for a little bit over an hour at 400 degrees because we want them to be a consistency more like a pudding. And Victor's going to take those and put them in our bowl here. And we're going to add to that 1 medium orange to zest. And we like Valencia oranges because of their taste. And when you zest an orange, you're going to get right down to that white part called the pith, and that's really where a lot of your orange oil is and some of your nutrients. So we're going to take that orange and use just a regular grater and grate the orange until we get the full zest. That's going to give you a lot of the really orange sweet flavor on it. But I'd like to just talk about for a minute the wonderful virtues of the sweet potato. First of all, it's very high in vitamin B6, which prevents hardening of the arteries. Also, you get over 200% of your daily requirement for vitamin A in just 1 serving of sweet potato. Again, it's high in vitamin E, vitamin D, which, as you may know, is both a hormone and a vitamin. It's going to help with mood swings. It's going to help with if you have sleep disorders. A good healthy dose of sweet potato in your evening meal is going to help with that. And then also it's very high in fiber. I'm a cancer survivor. I actually had cancer and recurrent cancer a few years ago. And I declined chemo and radiation and instead went to a completely plant-based diet, started drinking lots of water, did juicing, exercised. And one of the foods that I added into my diet was a sweet potato. Oftentimes I'll just throw one in the oven the night before and I'll eat it for breakfast in the morning. So again, I'm a huge fan of sweet potatoes. So here Victor's added the orange zest, and now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and a 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. And you'll notice these are kind of like pumpkin pie type spices, which is going to make the dish just smell great as you're baking it. We also have a 1/4 cup of agave, and you can substitute black strap molasses or pure maple syrup for your sweetener. And you're mixing that all together. Now, you don't put this in a blender or in the food processor, do you?
No, this recipe, all you need is a fork and a spoon in a bowl. We've pulled our dough out of the fridge. It's been real chilled for at least an hour. You can overnight is fine. Again, the chilling is just to make it easier to work. I'm going to pull off about a golf ball sized lump here. And I'm going to use a fancy rolling pin here, which is a stainless steel water bottle that I filled with water and froze, so it's an ice water bottle. You
And
can
what does
see
that
just
do when
keeps
you
it from sticking.
roll it with the water bottle?
That just keeps it from sticking, since we don't have all the fat in the dough that you would normally have. It's much easier to work with. So we end up with a small round here. And now,
Time to add our filling. It's really important with this dish to make sure you use a generous amount of filling in the empanada, because have you ever had a pastry that it didn't have enough filling and you're like, oh, this is really dry and bad. We don't want ours to be like that. So leave a little bit of a border,
about a ½ inch border.
about a
and then
½ inch.
It's important, then you need to crimp the edges firmly with your fork, because as that bakes, that's just going to bubble and boil and want to ooze out onto your cookie sheet. And now you have a pretty empanada right there. That'll be placed onto your sprayed cookie sheet, and we'll bake it for 30 minutes at a 350-degree oven. And we've pulled these out of the oven now so you can see how they look. I'll slice one in half here. I want you to see why it's important that you fill it full. There's an air bubble otherwise, so it's important that you really fill them up. Be generous with your filling. And that is your orange sweet potato empanadas with no
Thanksgiving
fat.
all year round. Thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you try out this empanada recipe. It's simple and healthy. Victor and I do volunteer cooking demonstrations and cooking schools throughout the Tucson and Phoenix areas. If we can speak to your community group or church, please let us know. Our contact information is located on the screen. Have a great day and enjoy.